You should blush, David, you should.
I'm not blushing. I think it's funny. Especially what are you dead? They sent me a message, are you dead?
He told me he was real sick, so I just was following up, making sure that I didn't cause the death of another person. Sent him a few texts over the weekend, make sure he's still alive.
My wife got a kick out of it.
February.
It is.
Oh, my God.
It's really groundhog.
We don't laugh, we'll cry. So
I heard
people
that.
laugh, and there's plenty to laugh at.
My son was like, it's hog day on, but you know, that we don't have school, and I'm like, hog day, and he's like, what? And I'm like, oh, groundhog day. Like, that's a funny way to say it. Hog day.
I gotta be at home a lot of times this afternoon.
Okay, no. All right, no big deal.
I'll let you know.
All right, thanks.
I think it's been the opposite the last few years, right? Usually it's been early spring, but I don't know.
Ready to get started. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Morning. One thing on the agenda that we're going to do, we're going to move up the resolution for the mental health advocate, just after public comments. Casey's got something he's got to get to, and then he'll come back for the middle school tour. First order of business is to approve the agenda.
Still moved with that change?
Okay. Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Wait from the public wish to speak. Dr. Karen, go ahead, Karen.
I want to thank Ben for coming in here for the last 2.5 or 3 years, because it's been really fun to have you in here, Ben. You're very sincere in your job. You're very good at what you do, and you had to learn an awful lot really fast. You came in here not knowing what you were. There's a lot going on in Tama County. Thank you very much for coming in here. Working the county over, doing a good job. If you want to come back next month, that'd be great.
Anybody else? Nothing online? Nothing on that. Okay. Okay, close public comments. Go to resolution 2-2026A. It's establishing position of mental health and substance use disorder advocate, law enforcement liaison. That should be in your board packet. You get it out. Okay. There was a request from Libby to is that the right one? Yeah, different one. To remove the substance abuse language, specifically in the code under her, where the code outlines the mental health advocate, it says substance abuse committals as well, so I think that we'll leave that in. It doesn't have to be in the job title. We're just going to leave it as mental health advocate and law enforcement liaison. And her and Casey will come up with the correct job title. This is just establishing the position, and then they'll work out the details. I've kind of come up with a job description and gave that to them, and they can tweak it as they wish. But essentially, I wanted to read the resolution, and if there's any questions, move forward with that. This is resolution 2-2026A, a resolution establishing the position of mental health and substance use disorder advocate, law enforcement liaison. Whereas counties across Iowa are experiencing increased demand for coordinated responses to mental health and substance use disorder crises. And whereas the county recognizes the need for improved continuity of care for individuals who interact with criminal justice systems and require behavioral health services. And whereas Iowa code requires counties to provide mental health advocate services for individuals under involuntary commitment. And whereas the sheriff's office is uniquely positioned to oversee crisis response, jail coordination, and interagency communications related to behavioral health needs, and whereas combining the statutory duties of mental health advocate with the operational responsibilities of law enforcement liaison will enhance public safety, improve service delivery, and maximize county resources. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Tama County, Iowa, that the county hereby establishes the position of mental health substance use disorder advocate and law enforcement liaison. This position will be allocated 25% mental health and SUD advocate and 25% law enforcement liaison. The position shall perform all duties required under current Iowa code for mental health advocates. The position shall operate under the oversight and the administrative supervision of the sheriff. Law enforcement liaison duties shall include responding to crisis calls at the request of the sheriff's office, conducting post-crisis follow-ups, providing soft handoffs to mental health and SUD services, and coordinating daily with jail staff to assess and plan for post-release care. Funding shall be commensurate with the position breakdown percentage. 75% funding shall be funded through Tama County General Fund and shall be reimbursed by the state of Iowa. 25% shall be made through Tama County Opioid Fund. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption. So we would have a motion and a second to approve it, then we can make comments.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2-2-2026 rather A, and there's one correction to be made.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay, correction.
You made it 25% mental health instead of 75%.
Number two,
Item number 2, under therefore be it resolved.
the position shall allocate 75% mental health and SUD advocate and 25% law enforcement liaison.
If it's correct on paper, you end up in what you said,
When you read.
Oh, what I
when
said,
you read
I said it the other way.
25 and 25.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just want to make sure.
Just a verbal.
Okay.
Yes, it's in the first.
I read it wrong,
Yep.
but it's right on paper.
Yes, so
Yep.
everybody in the public knows,
Okay,
but no, there's no correction to it.
okay. Did you second it then?
I did.
Heather second, okay. Any comments?
I think it's a good thing.
Me too. I like how it's funded.
Yeah, it's fully reimbursed by the state and by the opioid fund that we need to use anyway, so it's no taxpayer extra dollars.
Yep.
Just using the money we already have, so.
Yep. Yep.
And Libby's willing to do this position as far as we know.
We met with her last week for a couple of hours and went over and we've talked about this. This has been in the works for over a year. This is something that I ran on, something that Casey ran on, and so he's had some other things going on and I've had some other things going on, and we finally kind of come together to, kind of put the framework together and something that we can agree upon. And the timing is in his time and then in Libby's time. I did reach out to Paul to find out, is this something that would need to be posted because it's kind of a new position? And he said, no, it's a restructuring of the duties that are already there, and it's not more than the percentage that's required by state to do so. So, and Libby was understanding of all. She had lots of good questions, and her and Casey actually were the ones working those things out. So it's good to see them already working together, and that there'll be a little bit of oversight with that position. The funding that comes out of the Tama County General Fund, but anything that's in the law, outlining Libby's job, which she's been in for 15 years or somewhere around there, it gets reimbursed from the state, and it does get reimbursed right away. And so nothing is actually coming out of taxpayer dollars. And not that it's not taxpayer dollars, but we received and we have about $186,000 in the opioid fund. So 25% of her salary. This allows this position to be fully funded without raising any property tax dollars for between 5 and 10 years, depending on kind of how the state reimburses. That's the good thing. And it's a service that we really need. DCR has Flow State. We don't want to mess around with what Flow State is doing. They are kind of do a jail diversion program, but this is extended, and then we're going to be filling the gaps in services to try to reduce people coming back into the jail and having to go to the hospitals, as well as providing assessments.
I did talk to Flow State finally, and they're very excited about this.
Good.
Anticipating any issues. But yeah, this is something that we needed for a while, and
Very good. Any other comments? If not.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Motion will pass unanimously. We'll create that position. Now you guys will just work with each other and get the job title and,
Yeah, meet with her tomorrow.
okay, we'll see you a little later.
Yeah, see you in a little bit. Thanks. Appreciate it, thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, Ben. Morning.
Guess before I kind of go into my office report, had the plows out at 5 a.m. today. Had about from yesterday that we took taken care of this morning. And then last week we were doing some brush cutting. We are continuing to do that. And then we've been stockpiling road rock last week. And probably looks like we're don't have any more snow coming down the pipe this week, so we'll probably get things our snow equipment up and start hauling again to get those the rock and prayer and Chelsea up. And then update on positions filled. So had some bridge crew restructuring. And with that, there's two guys that were on the bridge crew and now they're in trucks. We have one in our shop area and then one in Montour. And I'm feeling it great. And so now we have a Blackbrook motor grader position, truck driver position out of Parrot and Blue Tier that will be pushing that out to the public. Because didn't have anybody internally interested in those positions, so we'll be getting those posted today, and then go from there. And had the budget sent over to the DOT and the five-year program last week. I guess we'll kind of go over to that on the agenda for the 5-year program. But so I had 2 bridge projects from the last 5-year program. One being E36, just east of Cloutier. And then one in York Township. That's just what he's defining there on 310th Street. Have those kind of added into the 5-year program, those 2 bridge projects. And then have 2 paving projects that I kind of added later on. And those kind of can be just not really fully set in stone, but have funding for it. So the B18 south of Cloutier, all the way down to Chelsea, have that in there, and then also have old Highway 30 that goes to Montour. That I think from 2017 they did paving, concrete, like in the middle between Montour and Tama, and so to finish that stretch off, that would be my other paving project that I would add to this 5-year program. So
What year would that be, Ben? 2020?
that'd be 2031.
Sure.
Fiscal year,
Okay, I see. I'm sorry. Gotcha.
and then the 18 itself would be fiscal year 2030.
Do you have like average daily traffic on any of these?
I mean, all of them are, I mean, I don't have them off the top of my head, but I can really, I can send them, it's on the DOT website, I can pull that up quick
Okay.
for you.
I just propose that we would move that one up.
Which one?
The E49 paving project. Has lots of traffic and that road is one of the worst ones in the county, probably.
We can vote on that, I have to abstain because that's in front of my house.
We probably should push that to the back about 40.
Well, then I wouldn't be in the fire.
Here you got resurfacing north of here.
Yes.
What about that bridge before Highway 8? That thing's shot. Or it's rough.
It's rough. So I think when they would do paving, they would pave over top of it.
They don't need replaced or anything.
There's no load rating or anything on it right now. It's just super rough.
Yep.
It's just, there's no. Yeah, it's structurally sound, but, rougher than I'll get out. So.
Yeah, the bridge isn't actually rough.
The approaches, yeah. Yeah.
I was just clarifying. I thought I seen on one of your things it was up for redo, but I could have been somewhere else.
I think it was done in like 96, 97. On V18, probably should have Pat look into getting a grinder to rent
Oh, gotcha.
and attack some of those bumps out there.
Yeah.
I've been getting calls quite often about it, and it's warming up now.
Yeah.
So, and we've done it in the past where, yeah, you can basically have a small truck out there with a broom, have it be the flagger and clean up, and then have one guy running and then we have a pickup. Always just had one guy in a pickup on the other side, so. Do it now and while you got, instead of cutting brush or something like that. And before we had to rent everything, now we don't, we just have to rent the attachment.
Oh, yeah. First, good luck.
Yeah.
I guess from what I'm hearing, you'd want the only change would be to move the E49 paving to like 2029 or something along those lines. Or,
I'd like to see what the average daily traffic is and then the cost, like what are we swapping? What would we swap for? Dollars wise, and then I think that we should prioritize the projects that are in the worst condition and then that have the most traffic over them. Can't do that without really having the data. I don't know what everybody else's thought or is on it.
So it's good to have the damn line up.
So just bring that back next week if you can get those.
well, I just know that that's the last, because it's in the 5-year program to the DOT. I've just made some mapping changes that they required. And I was hoping to get it ironed out maybe today of what the changes you wanted to see. So that I could get those submitted. And then I could bring back the 5-year program for you guys to approve. So that would be kind of all squared away. I can, after this, I can, because I guess you have a few things still left on the agenda. I can look it up quick and I don't know, have public comment time. I can give you guys.
Oh, okay. All right.
This week, the nail it down before you leave, is basically.
Yeah, that's what, I guess for the 5-year program, when you guys are doing other stuff right now, I can
Okay,
pull all that
And
stuff.
at least if it's in there, is it something that in this, you know, like we do it every year, something that we could pull it ahead? Next year, how far ahead would it go, I guess would be the question,
mean,
at least it's in there.
It would be in there, I mean, it would be the next, you know, I guess the next,
But
what would it be? Say, it's time you do the fiscal or the 5-year program, and it'd be next year this time, and you can shift up or move back to. So,
well, when you look at moving funds around, 2028 isn't that far out for projects if we moved it.
if it would be that, that's what I was wondering too, how early are we looking to go? Right now it's at 2031, so if it's only a year or two, it's not a big deal, but if it's up a lot, then that affects it, yeah.
good. All right, I'll kind of look into ADTs for both the V18 and the E49. Have that been common time here. And then, I guess the only other thing I had was have a safety meeting at 10 AM. I don't think Heather is aware of that.
I'll be coming, yeah.
Okay. And then.
Do we- This L Avenue grading and paving, we don't need to do that, do we?
I mean,
That just goes to goes by the airport.
yep. It's been, I guess, in the plans.
I think that was something Lyle put on there just to keep people to.
Well, in 2010, there was initial push and they had looked at purchasing right away and did all that, and then it just hasn't really been. I think the thought was initially when or Highway 30, there had been, Highway 30 that goes through, when they made it to 4-lane, they had given money for the stretch that's out by the pack and to use that money to head north. But with everything, just budget-wise and whatnot, it just didn't end up happening. So it just kept getting pushed back. So I guess if that's,
Could we move that, what Mark's saying, over to there?
we could push that
That's
back.
for 2022.
Yeah.
28.
Mhm. You can swap those two, but where it still stay on the radar, but
Yep.
move it up.
Show them that. Yeah, and still get the ADT for that too. So, well, I guess. And then,
Thanks for Dave.
Utility permit.
then the utility permit, with it snowing, it's not giving us very good. So I think probably by the end of this week, we'll have a good chance to take a look at that and get a better idea.
Nick already looked at it. He said,
Well, I talked to him and he looked at C, but he hadn't looked at 190th yet.
oh, he hadn't? Oh,
Yeah. So that was the whole, he had looked at the C Avenue portion, that was decent. It was just the
Okay.
190th we hadn't taken a look at. So,
So you want to postpone that?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make that motion. Call in another week till we get the right.
Second it.
Been moved and seconded to postpone the discussion approval of the ITC Midwest utility permit. All those in favor say aye. Vote, motion carries. Come back to that, the 5-year program. That's why we're just good with making those changes.
We'll need to come back up in minutes too, we forgot them, and
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
Once it's
jumping
done.
down to get
that's okay.
these and taken care of. Good. Discuss and approve 126 regular minutes and special minutes.
Make that motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve those. All those in favor say aye. Motion carries. We have enough time for the property tax statement discussion. The person
He's been the last.
who's not here, this is here. So is he supposed to We thought he was gonna be here, Kurt, or,
No, he couldn't make it, I'm sorry.
okay. So we got 6 minutes, should we wait until after our public hearing
Yeah, we can.
for that, or do you
We
wanna?
could do the Veterans Affairs and,
Okay,
Les Weston's to do, but.
you good to stick around for a little bit, Wes? Are you good to stick around for a little bit? Okay, yeah. Veterans Affairs. Oh, it's too small, I can't read it. This is evidently submitted by the commissioners and approved and signed off on the bottom, so they've got their,
I'll make a motion, we accept the quarterly report from the Veterans Affairs.
I'll take that.
all right. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oop. Motion carries. That's the,
We're going to do the lien on the property.
yeah, we can do the lien, is that a resolution? No.
Questions for the health advocate.
Okay. So we had some, folks who were in here about that, situation about the mowing up in, and then we certified, to pay that bill. It ended up being about $1,000, altogether. And then we were to certify, the lien against the property. There was a letter that was mailed out by Karen, and I think that that's what's required by the law, notifying them that you owe this, there will be a lien. This isn't anything new, because this is what has been happening in the past. And usually that person just pays the tax, pays that, the lien off with the tax.
Yep.
It is allowed by the code. We'd have to do a mechanics type of lien or anything like that. We can just do it as an assessment against the property.
I can make that motion to, approve or to certify a lien against parcel 0533402001.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oops, motion carries. That was for $1,000.
Yes.
Okay, and that was part of her motion.
Yep.
What we have on paper here. Okay. I did that already. My work going now. You wanna do the IT?
What's that?
You wanna do the IT hire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
I can do it in 3 minutes.
Yep.
So we, Mark and I interviewed, two folks and, we made a decision to hire Corey Reynolds. I'll make sure I get the name right. Corey Reynolds, and his start date, background checks are done. His start date is the 16th of February. I make a motion that we approve that hire,
And a salary of
$50,000.
$50,000.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. I think David's been taking a lot of the slack to get through the phone project, and this will help to kind of free up some of his time. And, Corey is a young guy that just graduated and was looking for an opportunity to get his, use his degree in the IT field, and, seemed to be very eager, I guess, to move from what he's doing now into that. He's in retail right now and has been. He's got a great personality, and I think that he'll be a really good fit here for the county, so.
And we showed him the frame rooms to try and scare him away. It didn't work. So,
But since he's a beginner, the beginning salary is reflected in that. We budgeted up to $90,000 a year for this position if we have somebody that's got tons of experience, and so there's plenty of room for him to grow as well. So we might be coming back to the board to increase that pay over time as he learns and becomes more of a valuable asset, because we don't want to lose somebody that we're training, so. Right.
and James in Marshalltown has agreed to help us out.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be good to have someone here that's got IT, we've been needing that for a long time.
Yep.
So someone to meet with the employees and help them get what they need to keep working. doing their
Yep,
job.
the ultimate goal is to try to save money that we're paying out to outside vendors. And to kind of keep all of that, as much of that in-house. And so this position will allow us to do that. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. That was 2 minutes. Got one more minute. How many seconds?
It's probably-
Yeah, David, you wanna go ahead with claims?
Yes, we have claims in the amount of, 53, 311, period, 97, $53,311.97, and I make a motion, we approve that.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve claims. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. So one. Pretty close.
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
I got 9.
Oh, 9 o'clock on the dot.
Oh.
Okay, we need to open county crop pasture land bids and accept or deny any bids.
David has those.
I have 2 bids here, one's for sealed pasture and the other one is a cash bid, so I'm going to open it to find out what it is. Pretty sure it's for rent, but we have to check. So for the Tama County landfill farm 1-year lease, I have a bid for $37,000 from Rick Hopper. This is the only bid I have for that, and the other one is for sealed pasture. Oh, this is a pasture. That's separate, so. This is from Annette Touche at $190 per acre. So $1,900 per year for the pasture. These are the only 2 bids that I have in my hands, so. Get the pasture over.
On the, did that meet the requirements underneath the posting?
121 is the number of it, variable to take it. 305. 6, okay, so it meets the criteria. This is for 1 year. And since there was no other bids, there will be no second step unless he wants to raise how much you want to pay.
Sure, go ahead.
I lower.
I make a motion, we accept those 2 bids.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept both bids. One for the pasture ground, the other one for the cropland. One was at
1,900.
It was 1,900 for the pasture and it was 37,000 for the cropland.
1,900 from Annette,
Yes, it was an and then Rick.
37,000 for Rick Hopper. As long as that's in the motion, so we have
Yep.
all the.
Did you get that?
Yep.
You're the best.
Rent's due March 1st, is that correct?
For discussion, I think next time it might be good to do 2 years. I talked to quite a few farmers and it just would be beneficial with, having beans and corn to be able to rotate, know they're getting 2 years, so. But yeah, I think that'd be a benefit for future.
Right.
We'll keep with the 1 year for now.
Yeah,
I would second that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough to, try to put fertilizer on there and then
Right.
knowing next year you might not get.
Exactly, yeah. Then it's not gonna get as much fertilizer and this,
And just for clarification, the reason we went with 1 year bid was Mark had made a proposal that we look into selling that land and if it's encumbered by a farmer, which is fine, we wouldn't be able to sell it for 2 years.
right,
So.
yep.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. That is taken care of. Or outside.
Tax abatement.
Okay, let's go back to the tax abatement. And turn it over to Kurt, I think.
Yeah.
It's kind of your agenda item.
We talked about it, multiple times in the past. And, Ben had brought this in And he had quick takeaways from it. And is a proposal, some summary for it. It'd be a 10-year rural housing tax abatement program for Tama County that freezes property taxes at current levels for eligible new construction and major remodels. There's no reduction in school or county tax revenues. Focused on revitalizing rural housing, supporting elder care, and attracting new residents. That was under his summary, and he had some benefits and encourages aging residents to remodel or build to stay in the communities. Help young families return to Tama County and live near relatives. Aligns with current infrastructure, rural broadband, daycare access, and remote work opportunities. Brings long-term residents, entrepreneurs, and professionals back to the area. Supports increased local sales tax collections and long-term school funding. Local benefits, boosts rural construction and real estate activity, brings new life to small towns and unincorporated areas, offers the family first financial responsibility alternative to assisted living facilities. And he had the request for the supervisors to put this proposal on the agenda. Consider piloting a program, and engage with local stakeholders for eligibility input, implementation plans. And then we talked about it in the past. I think everybody was kind of leaning that, thinking it was a good idea. So, and Ben had called me again. Ben Schimmel is, he's behind us, and I told him to get back on the agenda. So here we are.
I sent this up over to John, the economic development guy, because he would have some understanding of what the tax abatements would look like. And he had several questions. I think it's more like, is it a specific project that he already owns? Like, if he's asking for the abatement, from what I understand, it's should be already have something in mind of what he would, like a specific parcel of property that he would want to do this for.
I think he wants it countywide for anybody that comes in and wants to buy property. I don't think it's for a personal.
No, it's not. I understand it's not for a personal, but I think the way that the nature of this, the nature of the tool that he wants to use for this is that you would have an identified parcel of property or subdivision of property.
Okay.
That you would say, okay, if you're building this subdivision, because there's some already in Tama, there's some in Toledo, and I don't know how many there were, 5 countywide that I think that that are known, and not countywide, within the population areas outside of the unincorporated areas. And so these would all be within the cities. Like Toledo has one, I think, for where they built that new middle school.
Mm-hmm.
There's some properties in front of that fit this. So it'd basically be like sectioning it off that piece. I think that that's what the tool that he wants to use is. Not intended to be a countywide assessment. I don't know. And I might be wrong, but that's the way that I read the email. Did you get that? I couldn't find it.
The one from.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it just depends kind of what, are we looking at specific areas? He was wanting to know, what cities all have it today? Because if the cities don't offer it and the rural does, then you're gonna get people going to the rural areas. So I don't know, do you know, Wes, if a lot of the cities have it today? Okay, yeah, so I think we need to kind of gather that of what are they offering, to me, 10 years seems like a lot. If it was something that there was specific areas, or that, when I was researching around like 3 or 5 years is usually a little bit, better of a number, but yeah, I don't know, it just depends. Are we looking at, like Mark said, is it like somewhere where there's a little area that's created into a little area where there's tons of houses, or is it just for everybody? Like,
10 years.
yeah.
Only 10-year ones, the overhead power like and you know, those are multi-res Most of the communities, it's, 3 years for res typically and 5 years for commercial. And then some of them, it might be like 100% for each of the 3 years. Others are graduated where they do, they start out at 100% and it goes 80 and comes down and then finally it's off.
Mhm. Okay,
10 years to me, I feel like that's a bit long residential.
Yeah.
But there are other counties that I know have had abatements out in rural areas. When I was in Adams County, we had that because we had such a low population wanting to develop.
okay. Cause is there any counties that do the whole county? That sounds like a lot, but is there any that you know that would do like all rural residential?
Like Adams, I know they did all the unincorporated areas.
Okay.
They opened it up
And did it help, or I wonder how it turned out?
somewhat, but I mean, we just didn't have the population.
Right,
We had one new subdivision south in the area, and the entire time I was there, I think we finally got up to 2 houses.
okay,
And so, but, Tama, Toledo, Dicer, Frere, they've all had stronger markets. And I can see it, especially as you get up toward Water, as you get a stronger market up there, I can see where people would want to develop and build, and that's where we're having more.
Blackhawk County is really known for their high taxes and, people, that's one of the reasons people are looking to get out. So that does make a lot of sense, northern would be, but
I can check and see what other counties have rural abatements if you'd like me to, and get that information to you, and then, as far as what kind of term are they looking at for your 5 year?
yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah. And I'll run some of these by Ben also.
I found the email, let me just
Okay,
read what
yeah.
it says. And it's, basically, he was asking who's the recommendation coming from, if he just knew the name Ben, but does he have a position with the county? Certainly there's merit to some kind of housing tax abatement program in order to remain competitive and attraction of new housing development. Most places I have seen or have offered 3-year, 100% abatements or sliding scale abatements for longer terms of 5, 7, or 10-year terms, in not like 100%, but more like 100 maybe, and then drop down to 75, and then maybe to a 50, something like that. I'm not sure how many residential permits you're seeing on an annual basis, but I would be shocked to see a large amount. While rural development certainly does happen, the reality is the more new home development will take place inside city limits, particularly for affordable housing development projects, and that would be up to each city or town to adopt their own tax abatement rules and schedule. That would be more multi-family. They said, do you know of any communities currently offering a tax abatement program? That's what we just outlined. Would want to encourage you to adopt a tax abatement program that would then incentive people who might otherwise build inside the city limits to then just build outside the city limits for a better tax advantage. And then if they were annexed during the abatement timeline, I'm unsure what that would mean for the city. All things to consider, but I don't think the idea is without merit. And so, good idea. Need to have some more specifics.
Yeah, we can get that.
Who do you want me to direct the information to, all of you?
You can.
You can send it to Karen and then she can disseminate it.
it's good to look at. It's something I hadn't heard about, like if we could get, especially with ADUs an option now, we could get people to bring more houses and they get a little bit of a tax break for a few years, and then, it's just a way to get, then in a few years, we'll have more tax rolls coming in.
Yeah, we've had a couple of calls about people wanting to do that. And so that would be good. The more houses, even out in the rural areas, the better. And if there's a tax incentive that we could do to make that happen, get some more development going on out there, that would be in our best interest long term for Texas.
The argument always says, why are they getting a break? But if you look at it on the other hand, well, what do you have out there before? You just have bare ground and you don't have anything within the period of the abatement, then it's gonna be on the tax rolls and you're gonna add to your tax base.
Yep,
That's the favorable side of it, but that, a lot of people with existing properties don't look at it that way. They think, why are they getting the break?
Right.
Again, it's an economic incentive to try to increase the tax
If that was the only argument that I had heard back from somebody said, well, what about, why would you be giving people, a an incentive to build that way when nobody else enjoys that benefit? And I said, well, because it's not gonna hurt anything. If it's $0 of $0 or 10% of $0, it's still $0. And so anything that we can get above that, when people do start paying taxes, it's a long-term plan.
Taxes on the site.
Yeah.
Only on the.
And like the cities, they could go to city councils and try to get the same thing, they could do the same kind of abatements if they don't have it ready in their city. So it's not like it's a Rover's city, like there's opportunities to speak to elected officials. And so, yeah, it's something to look into a little bit more. Maybe we need to bring this back if Ben could tell or give us a little more
I'll get it.
specific to what he was thinking. That'd be
And
good.
like, it's not necessarily just new construction for your house.
Okay.
It could be updating.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
We
additions
have done extensive remodeling or they've added a garage.
Sure.
But usually within the abatement, there's a certain figure that's put in that has to be at least that amount.
Okay.
And if we were to approve something like this, I would like to make sure everybody knows about it, not just people who come to these meetings.
Right.
So how it's advertised or sold to the rest of the public, it needs to be
For sure.
completely above board.
Yeah, we definitely wanna get the word out.
Yeah. But it seems like something that, there's a appetite for. We just need more information, and then if Wes could get the information, and then Jake, if you could take this information back to John, and you guys can work on that to officially kind of give us a proposal and work with,
Ben Schimmel.
Ben Schimmel. I don't know. Can you get Jake his information? That way the key players who really, you got the guy that wants the project, the people who know how to make it happen, and then what the implications are for the county. You got the three key guys working on it, and then come back to us with a proposal at some point, and we can put it back on the agenda. All right. So we just say that we had discussion on that, but no action taken if that was. Get through our talking points. Need to get public comments now.
Are you ready to go back? Or?
Yeah, yep.
You don't need me for.
Nope. Thanks, Wes.
Thank you.
No, I didn't know if I could get out of the call. So the ADT for L Avenue is 140 vehicles per day. 18, that's north. That is, so there's a range. I put a range because some of them, not all.
Hey, Karen, can you guys stop back there so we can hear Ben, please? Karen?
Yes.
Please.
So there's a range, like, there's different segments in that. So B18 north from Cloutier to Highway 8, that was like 460 to 740 vehicles per day. The portion that, the south in the orange, from Cloutier to Chelsea, that was, 320 to, 1,080. That was kind of by the city of Chelsea, where the bigger,
The big one.
higher traffic was. And then for E49, it was 440, to 890 vehicles per day. So, yeah, I was just kind of looking at, the L Avenue one projects, that could mean moving back to 2029, and paving to 2030, and then could move up that, E49 project to the 2028 project or fiscal years.
Okay.
Like getting a higher ADT road, taken care of.
So do the E49 and the V18 north both in 2028 then?
Yeah, those.
We do both of those.
Yeah,
Okay. But funding wise.
yeah, and
So,
And we could do soon, I mean, if we wanted to move that other one back up, if we end up with some money out of our in the budget after July 1st, we could move some stuff back up if we really wanted to
how bad is
prioritize it.
B18 south compared to E49? Cause I mean, those are similar.
B18 south of Cloutier?
Yeah.
Is better than E43.
It's better than it.
Yeah.
Cause that one's quite a bit out. That one's-
B18 north of Cloutier.
Yeah, that one's bad.
Is not.
That one's bad. Yep, that
That's-
one, if we could,
I think you probably just want the ground.
pretty much.
Slow down a bit.
We can't do that one any earlier than 2028 though, right? B18 north.
Yeah, right now I just have it. I mean, there'll be a lot of. We kind of get into to try to, plan some of these
Right.
projects too,
For sure.
so.
Okay.
I'll plan on putting the E49 to the year 28. And then the L Avenue grading, push that to 2029 and the paving to 2030. So I'll plan on doing that and then, bringing that back for next week. That'd be-
What was the traffic on L Avenue?
It'll be 140 vehicles.
Okay.
And that one has to be paved, right? You said,
I mean, it doesn't have to be, I mean, have it in there, just been in there,
Right.
if you guys choose to.
it's currently paved today or is it?
No, it's,
At one time, I think there was a casino.
Yeah.
Talking about going out there.
I guess we need to understand, is there still something out there? I don't know that
There's nothing
area.
out.
Just then,
Then let's not pave it.
Yeah.
If there's nothing out there, no plans, but. That's just my opinion. Sorry, guys, whoever's
Road to nowhere.
actually, you could use that road to get to, for the conservation. And most people don't do that. It doesn't go to the conservation, but it gets up there to where you can.
Well, like I said,
you still have to go on the other, the K Avenue.
you have to go back to Cab, you'd still go back on gravel.
Gravel.
Yeah.
They could use it to get here, if they wanna come see you.
I don't think so.
So do we leave it in there for now and just push it out or?
So we're pushing it out for 10 years.
I know.
That one would have been,
Yes, 20 years, be good. I want it.
that'd be 2029.
I just wonder, if 190 days that you.
29 for the grading, 30 for the paving.
Yeah, could be.
30.
Yeah,
This one's 2028, this one's 2029 still.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could look at, I mean, if it's something, if you see a benefit, like we could put some economically development there, then it makes sense, but otherwise. We don't just pave roads to pave roads, you know, we need to have a public purpose kind
Spend your
of
money
benefit.
better.
So should we remove that one from the 5-year plan
I say we do.
period?
Yes, yes.
I mean, there may be benefit to ask, like, highway premium in that livestock auction. People, I got to see if people use that road, but maybe they don't care if it's paved ever.
Get you the airport down.
I wrote paved too, you know.
Oh, my driveway paved.
I don't want mine.
You can always remove it
We
and
were
then just
paved.
like, put it in a note of all your stuff for whoever comes in after you, you just at least know it's an
Okay,
option and.
okay, all
Yeah.
right, so you want me to remove the grading and the paving, then, if that's what I'm hearing you guys.
Both of them?
Both of them.
No, I was saying,
I guess,
Well, the grading, the
I guess
grading's
explain,
going
yeah.
for the paving.
Yeah.
So
The grading's
there's
for the paving.
One for the other.
pave it.
'cause right now it's just gravel.
Yeah.
And then, it's, I mean, decently, fully where you'd wanna get it shaped up a little bit better for paving.
Like where Karen has her one there, there's a terrible,
Yeah,
hill and a driveway and everything. I don't know what you'd do there.
The stop sign.
Use some more of those.
I don't know,
Sorry.
I don't know what those cost, I don't think that's put it in there, but. Okay, well, do we have a motion and a second to approve it as we have amended, are the amendments pretty clear? Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
I'll make that motion.
Removing L, the grading and pin, correct?
Yep,
Okay,
and then moving up to E49 to 2028. And then leaving the rest of it the same.
I'll make that motion.
You already did.
Did you make that motion?
Please second it.
I'll second.
Okay, all right, now we can have discussion. I'm just, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The road plan is
Thanks, Ben.
approved as amended.
Yeah, and
Thank
then
you.
I'll bring that back
Right back
with
to
the, with the DOT and then that'll be like official.
Then we have to sign on.
Yeah,
that our utility permit too.
yep, get that taken care of.
Thanks, Ben.
All right,
Thank you.
appreciate it, sir.
Thank you. All right, public comments.
Clarification, what did you just do with Dell Avenue? After all of that, I couldn't hear because of Nancy.
We removed it from the 5-year road plan.
To the 10-year road plan.
There is no 10-year road plan.
So
It has been on there for many years.
I know.
And it never got any attention. And so we kind of looked at it, and we looked at this last year.
Yeah, we looked
Yep, I remember.
And,
Yeah.
and there was a kind of an undercurrent that we should probably remove it. We looked at it a little bit more carefully this year and we have decided to remove it from the 5-year plan instead of just pushing it out.
I believe this was that there.
Jim's even.
Jim's, she does that.
Yep.
Okay.
I think Jim's gonna have a hard afternoon at home.
And they ended up in Cedar Rapids.
All you gotta do is go to the coffee, forget about being dancing. I have another thing. So I am really impressed on what Kurt Barron's has done out at Tama County Lake. Well, I got to read through that whole packet finally and I'm just really impressed. I mean, I remember a year ago when we were first all of us getting started together and budgeting and everything else, the crisis. And, it just looked so hopeless a year ago. Everything did, but especially that lake, because it's such a huge thing, huge project. And, he's just done a really good job. And the people that have been support people for him, it's worked. I'm really grateful for that. And I'm also grateful for the 5 of you continuing on to work together and keeping things running smoothly and cheaply. Thank you.
And running for reelection.
What's that?
And running for reelection.
Yes. I think we just have the L and have to do that.
Quick close of comment.
But
I know, I know that I'm gonna come up with it.
all right, we'll close public comments. New business, anything from the supervisors? We kind of went over some stuff last week on our committees. Does anybody else have anything else to add from any committee work that you've had for the benefit of the public?
The only thing I said is that Ariane believes they finished the phone project. There are a few things that we're still cleaning up, but, by and large, everything's gone pretty good. And, just have to do some cleanup work and, start canceling contracts, so.
Secondary roads, we worked on, kind of our hourly pay scale. Looked at some ways to help incentivize moving up in that department. We had, some ideas. I don't know, we spent probably 3 hours there Thursday morning or whatever it was, Friday. We're kind of leaning towards a light equipment operator and a heavy roadside management, which would be like the brush and that, and then your sign tech and then engineer tech and then your mechanics. So this is kind of what they had kind of brought up. This is like this is what we had to start with. As you can see, it's pretty messy. And then, these here are the definitions of a light and heavy. And when we can make these, basically, what a light would be a truck driver and a laborer. And then, would go here, let me see. See what list of stuff that you can run. So basically, the light was on everything except motor grader, the excavators, the dozer. And any, you know, the nature of a heavy piece of equipment. And then your light would be, basically your light would be where you'd start when you come in. Then you'd have the tiers on that scale. Trying to simplify it a little bit, it's kind of a mess. I know it's gonna help them a lot down the road. So that's kind of where we're at right there. I have all this paperwork, if you guys wanna read through it, I'll send it out to you, and you have a chance. But this is some of the clarifications and stuff. You wanna see it? You want?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah.
And then, so then I have other ones for like your road maintenance, et cetera. Like this would be your roadside one. This would be your engineer tech. This kind of describes what they just redid these. Taylor helped me. Taylor, they did a lot on these. He said they just spent like a day or two at Lynn County where he came from and just redid these before he left. So he kind of pulled those off there and then we're gonna go through them and kind of change the wording to how Tama County is it versus Lynn. But they're a very, very good outline, I think.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not 100% for going that way. If you guys have any ideas or whatever, you know, I'd be more willing to listen to.
I like the simplified approach and then the staggered.
Yeah.
Um,
There's just, right now, there's just no incentive for our guys to move up. So like you know, and we've had it here just recently. We've had a couple employees want to go from the motor grader back to the truck. You know, so
That's what I mean,
and we changed that a little bit. We changed the policy so the motor graders come in at the same time as the trucks. Cause if you got trucks out, you get stuck when you get to sit for an hour and wait till the motor grader comes in at 6.
Yeah.
And with the lighting nowadays on this stuff, I mean, you're lighting up like a football field out there. I mean, you can see what you're doing.
Yeah.
So we kind of, Taylor went ahead and wrote a policy for that, changed that to where motor graders start at 5, same as the trucks. Then hopefully it'll all work out and everybody's done at the same time, like it should. That's one change that we've done. I know we're working towards changing all the snow routes back the way they were because we're spending too much overtime people driving here, drive there, and move around. So I think they're working on that this week, changing that back. I'm gonna go down there when I get done here today and just.
You mean like where they live, like try to be the one for that area, or you
No,
mean just the way they start them and finish them and stuff?
Well, for like instance, like one, like an excavator operator out of the clôture shed has a route over there.
Yep.
Not over here. So they're moving that stuff back. Because we have employees taking shop trucks
Mhm.
and going from one shed to
I
another.
get you.
Then coming halfway back and starting their plow route.
Yes.
So we're moving them back the way they used to.
Centralizing by their shops coming.
Yeah. So that's a big move forward there. That's gonna save us money there.
Good.
Basically everything else that we've been doing is just cleaning up stuff and save money.
I really like the idea of taking other people's better ideas and seeing how to incorporate them with us, because we don't have the market on all the smarts.
Right.
And most of it,
You know, when I originally started this, look where we're at now. You know, I originally started, I started at Marshall County and now I use we're utilizing some of their stuff and then we're overutilizing in other counties, you know, so the information's out there. You just gotta
right,
jump through the right hoops to get it.
right, and why reinvent the wheel?
Yep.
That's kind of where I'm at in a nutshell right now. I don't have anything set in stone. Like I said, we just worked that up. I'm gonna meet with the guys again this week and kind of go through some more stuff. I mean, we've been meeting regularly, probably about once a week at least and I know Kurt's been in and out and stuff like that, so I can try to fill him in with everything. Yeah, that's all I got on mine for now.
Just to add on the roadside with the county engineer, we might need to share someone
Yeah,
in between,
That was
so.
another thing we need to talk about.
Yeah, so I reached out to Grundy County, to their county engineer, and he was gonna take it back to the board of supervisors
They
in
have
Grundy.
board meeting, right?
They had a board meeting today about the same time, so we shared with them in the past. Karen pulled the previous agreement as well,
But
but
it wasn't this guy.
it wasn't this guy, it was the
The guy who
retired
retired.
guy. So this guy's got about 2 years' experience. He seems very upbeat, very, I guess, willing, but it just depends what the board of supervisors say. So if they do something today, we might need a quick meeting this week, because if we could sooner than later get some, whether it's him or if somebody knows somebody else, feel free to, we can always get proposals and then bring them back to the board. But the sooner we can, if there could be a little bit of handoff with Ben would be helpful. Since his last day's what, like end of next week, I think, or is it the week after?
Well,
Actually, early, like the
13th.
or something.
Yeah.
So I'll let you guys know when I hear back from that, but like, they were meeting this morning as well, so.
At a minimum, if his last day is the 13th, the last day before he's gone, that we have a regularly scheduled meeting is the 9th.
Yep.
And so,
We could act on
we could act on that.
it.
We-
Next Monday.
Okay.
Yep.
Would you want to reach out to a few more, see if anyone else?
I guess we have recommendations, or that was,
Do we want to just wait and see what this goes through, or?
yeah, I can retouch base. If I don't hear today from him, I'll call him back and just.
Why don't you want to maybe reach out to the surrounding,
Yeah.
different surroundings, see if. anyone
Yeah,
else-
you guys have
I
ideas.
don't care, I mean, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can call anybody, whoever you guys wanna use.
I. Just so we have maybe another one lined up in case it doesn't fall through. I guess we'll know probably today.
What are, Mitt and Blackhawks, right? They're probably busy enough.
I don't know if Mark.
Hardin, that's where, up there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grundy, Marshall,
Cover sheet? Or is that last one?
Iowa.
Well, that's.
Iowa.
Lyle, I gotta come back.
We touch with Iowa? I don't think so.
I will, might,
We touch them.
like, yeah,
It's kind of over.
Yeah, barely,
barely.
but we do touch it. So
No, we don't touch it.
Where's their case? Ringo.
Yeah.
So an hour away.
Maybe
Bring them.
Hardin or Iowa or somebody.
Well, the other one's probably more.
Probably really about the same, really, Grundy to here,
Mhm.
and Marshall found to be the closest, really.
March not be the closest.
You know, Iowa County is probably about the same drive as Grundy,
Yeah, we could,
so, do you wanna do that, or me too, or?
Doesn't matter, I can, it's mainly just, or we can split up a couple. The main thing is, once you call them, then they gotta go to their board, then they gotta, so it just adds to a lot of steps, so it's like,
Well, let's see how today flakes
Yep,
out, with
see-
their board meeting.
see what
then
they
we can
say today,
You and I
and
can
then-
talk, we'll reiterate it.
yep, we could just split them up in each call.
Their responsibilities are more paperwork than anything.
Right,
They're
yeah.
Signing things.
Yep.
I just wonder if would an assistant engineer at a county be qualified under the code?
not if they're not licensed.
Okay, yeah.
They have to have the.
Not if you don't have the PE.
That's what we're basically looking for, somebody come and do the paperwork, the signing.
Yep.
Filling intermittently.
Yep.
Because with the DOT, we can't do anything till we get an engineer once it's done, so it gets pretty.
If we do anything, it'd be good to have a negotiation, ahead of the contract, because they're gonna have their initial one. We're kinda not a lot of negotiating room, but I think that we'd have some. Especially if we had more than one county. And I'll just kind of see what that would look like, even without approval, like what would a sharing contract would look like?
And kind of the way I understand it, and I don't know, if Karen might know this a little bit more than me, is it doesn't save us any money. We still have to pay the same amount, right?
Usually, if you're sharing, it's very close to what we're already
I
paying.
just wanted to make that.
Yeah, sometimes it's a per week or per month, so it's
Right.
like, holy cow, we're paying a lot, but it's like, when you take an engineer's salary, it's,
Right. Yeah, we'll be paying the same, but probably what we're paying the salary. but
yeah, that's okay.
That's kind of the research I've done, the way, that's kind of where I understand. So
Yep.
just sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, last time it was a certain amount of hours a week, I can't remember, it said 4 hours a week or 5 or something like that.
We have the old contract, what they were paying before, and I requested one from another county that shares between two counties to see what it looks like.
So, and the only question I had, and I talked to an engineer who is not a county engineer, but he wouldn't do it. Well, I mean, if you think persuaded him, no. because it does involve a lot of stuff, but the question I have is how much research would they have to do, just, and how many projects do we have that require the engineer's signature? How many total do we have per year?
Right.
And because it could be a lot more than we know, of stuff that he has to sign off on.
Everything that Ben comes in on, that we have to sign off on, that's
That's a
Yeah,
lot.
but
all part
I
of it.
haven't been adding it up.
On the projects, we have the 5-year plan, but also we have what's already in the pipe, you know, it's been let, and I've asked Ben to give us an exit memo. Outlining all the projects, where they're at, who's in charge of it, to appoint somebody as a designee until we get somebody in place.
So I think it would be good to know how many physical signatures he's had to do a year, just so that we can wrap our heads around the scope of the work.
Sure.
I mean, it's easy to say, we gotta have an engineer. Okay, you know, what does he do? How many? So, anyway.
Yep.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion. Or did you?
He made it.
Oh, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
All right,
Bye.
Move. We're adjourned.
we have the one.
Mine was suggestion.
Oh, well, close enough.